Welcome back, beautiful people, to another episode of TBH with Other Season 3, baby. I'm so excited. This is where we keep it honest, we keep it real, we dive deep into real growth and also just gratitude. This season is all about making God's blessings tangible in our lives. And today's episode is a gem, because we're talking about something powerful, shifting your mindset to get anything you want. And when I mean anything, I mean anything that you want. So I'm just going to briefly recap you on this season's theme, which is all God's things coming into fruition. And I just want to say that in order for us to be able to reap the fruits of the Spirit or your hard work or whatever the case is, your mindset is key in that journey. And today we will be highlighting some practical steps and also personal stories of my own on how I've overcome certain things, things that I think have worked for me and things that I'm currently working on. And I really aim to empower every single person, and hopefully it is as relatable as possible. So in today's episode, we have 4 segments. The first one is the power of perspective. We're going to dive deep into that. The second segment is practical ways to shift your mindset. And then the third segment is overcoming limiting beliefs. And then last but not least, we need to be able to take action in all the things that we are planning. So the 4th segment is taking aligned action. So, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, I am pretty sure that we all know that what you are is what you attract, and vice versa. And if you're regular, and if you're someone that has been with us from day one, you will know that in season 1 of my very few episodes, I think it was season 1, episode 2, where I talk about manifesting your life and manifesting everything that you want to do. And guess what? We're back here again, because, healing and growing and trying to become a better version of yourself is not a linear path. So sometimes you kind of derail from that trail, and you need to be reminded at times. So here I am. We want to make sure that we shape our reality, and that whatever we believe is what influences what you achieve. Okay? So if it is that you believe, in fact, the very first thing that you need to understand is the belief system. You need to understand that once you dream something, it cannot go single-handedly. It has to come with some sort of belief. You dream and believe that you will be able to get whatever it is that you're trying or aspiring to. So I'll take a simple example. If I am craving an ice cream, for instance, and I'm going to use this example because it is very simple. If I'm craving an ice cream, and let's say I am a toddler, right? And I am craving an ice cream, or that I saw an ice cream in some sort of advert or whatever it is. And I tell my mom that, hey mom, I want an ice cream. Chances are, okay, we're probably going to have a bit of a tough situation there, and we're probably going to chop our heads. I'm probably going to be snappy. She's probably going to say, oh no, whatever the case is, she doesn't have money, whatever. I'm going to keep on nagging, right? Anyway, what I'm trying to come at is that if you want something, and if you really want it, you're going to believe that you're already getting it. So that is why we then have what we call stubbornness. So you're going to have the stubbornness to get whatever it is that you want from wherever you think you'll get it. You don't know how your mom or your dad is going to get that ice cream money, but I really don't care. But you should get me the ice cream because that's what I want right now. Already that child, or already I am in my abundance mindset, which is I'm going to get this ice cream wherever it comes from. At the end of the day, I'm going to get this ice cream. And when I do, I'm going to enjoy myself. And when I do, it is going to be over. And you know what? I'm not going to regret it one single bit. I mean, I'm a kid after all. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Now, this is where that's when you should realize that you need to set your foundation. Your mindset needs to have a foundation where whatever you believe needs to be something that will help you achieve whatever it is that you aspire to get or have. Now, remember, when we're talking about aspirations, mindset, whatever, and trying to goals and whatever, it doesn't have to be specifically materialistic. It could be anything. It could be happiness. It could be joy. It could be abundance. It could be love. It could be a car. It could be a house. It could be a mansion. It could be a yacht, babe. But you will not achieve if your mindset doesn't believe. You got that? Now that takes us to the scarcity versus the abundance mindset. I want to refer you to another woman who speaks the similar language. Her name is Tam Kaur. I mention her almost in every episode of my podcast because I absolutely love her. She influences my lifestyle. She influences my mindset. And I think you should check it out as well. Tam Kaur tells us or gives us clear examples when it comes to scarcity and abundance mindset. In fact, she actually has, cartoon characters where one is Athena and one is, I forgot the other one. But anyway, the other one has a scarcity mindset. So that means that that person is focused on a lack thereof. So if you find yourself focusing on what it is that you don't have or what it is that you're lacking, automatically then that means that you're not going to be able to believe that you can achieve whatever it is that you are aspiring for. And this unfortunately happens in our everyday lives. We just don't really, we don't realize that how much of an impact the small things. So things like, if it is that I want to buy myself 5 chocolates because I feel like I need it, and your scarcity mindset is already telling you that, oh, well, I don't have much money left. And if I use this little money that I have on chocolate, which is something that I'm going to enjoy now, which is going to make me feel fulfilled now, it means that I am not going to, it automatically means that there is a lack thereof. You are scared that you are not going to get the funds, and that you don't know where you're going to get the funds to be able to get your next set of 5 chocolates or whatever it is else that you need. Now that's what we call the scarcity mindset. I'm pretty sure all of us understand or know or can identify this in our lives, especially with our parents. I was brought up in a family where, unfortunately, a lot of people were focused on the lack. So you'd find you'd remember phrases like, we don't have money now, or we cannot afford that now, or you need to, what would they say? Yeah, we cannot afford it. We don't have money. All of those phrases. It's just that it's kind of like mind-boggling. Unfortunately, it's not in my vocabulary anymore. So it's kind of like I don't remember the phrases. Anyway, those unfortunately are the things that we were brought under, or rather should I say, that was the household I was coming from. And it's hard to get out of that mindset or scarcity mindset, because unfortunately it almost feels like, oh, okay, well, my reality is the fact that I lack funds, or I lack this, or I lack that. Tell me, where has that gotten you? That has gotten you into more lacks and more less and more, unfortunately, more problems. If you only exude and project problems, the only thing you'll get back is problems. And I'm very happy to say that I am done and dusted with that lifestyle or that mindset. Whenever I think about, for instance, money, or whenever I think about anything in general, I think that I don't think anymore that, okay, well, I need a budget because I don't have enough money for this and that and this and that. And that's where we come to the abundance mindset. The abundance mindset focuses on the possibilities. So what I mean by focusing on possibilities, it means that, well, just like that child that I gave you an example of, I don't know where I'm going to get it. But I know that the universe is going to make a plan and things are going to come into fruition. It's called, some people would like to call it delusion. I mean, the 2K, or nowadays we call it Delulu. Whatever you call it, whatever suits you, or whatever rocks your boat, that is perfectly fine. I think the abundance mindset is much more better than having the scarcity mindset. And people will be like, oh, well, you're not being realistic. Babe, being realistic is overrated. I, for one, am telling you that. Ever since I practice this abundance mindset, saying things like, let's say I wanted to buy myself a pair of shoes, and in any given day, I'd probably say, well, I can't afford it right now. So maybe I'll try save up for it, or maybe I will do it in 3 months' time, or whatever the case is. I mean, time waits for no one, firstly. Secondly, the abundance mindset will be like, well, why don't you just buy the shoes? You'll be happy anyway. And wherever the money is required to be fulfilled, it will come. The universe works like that. Money comes back. Experiences don't. So if you were thinking, or if you needed a sign to go to that trip, go to that trip. Because wherever it is that maybe you are scared that you're not going to get money for that, or you're not going to get funds for whatever it is that you decided that, oh, well, it'll have to wait, time waits for no one. So then that means that we get into our second segment, which are practical ways to shift your mindset. So ways that we can be able to practically shift our mindset, we need to visualize and affirm ourselves of all the things that we aspire, all the things that we strive to get or strive to be. So if I want to become a lawyer someday, you will obviously work for it. You need to study. But most importantly, the mind is what matters. So you need to keep on telling yourself, give yourself positive affirmations to train your brain to focus on what you want rather than what you fear. All right. So for instance, like I said, if you want to be a lawyer, or if you want to get that ice cream, and let's say, okay, let's probably not use the ice cream example anymore. Let's keep with the lawyer. But in order for me to continue striving to be a lawyer in the 3 years or 4 or 5 years of me studying, I need to keep on affirming myself that I am a lawyer. I am a woman of the state, and I will become the best of the best, and that I will pass with flying colors, and that I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I am beautiful, and I am a woman. Whatever the case is, or however you want to identify yourself, whoever you want to be, you need to be able to practice and train your body and train your brain mostly to focus on that thing or that being that you want to be now. Okay? Remember, what you are is what you attract. So by me saying that, you also want to practice daily gratitude. So you want to change your outlook and also look at things that attract more of what you desire. So just to give you instances, I have a mood board, or I have a Pinterest board that I created for my podcast. And when it comes to these things, you don't have to be all extravagant. You don't have to think big. You can start small. So in our last the last episode of season 2, I mentioned that I wanted to make small goals. So you can start with quarterly goals or weekly goals, actually. It doesn't have to be in the pace of someone else. The key is you and your mind, right? So if you want to be able to have a goal, you want to make sure that it is set to the pace in which you are comfortable in. Okay, so if it is quarterly, for instance, take it small. I created a mood board where I wanted to have a goal or set up a podcast studio, and it's little by little. You don't have to look at the bigger picture all the time, because sometimes it overwhelms us, and that is just the honest truth. So I learned something that's called efficacy, which is taking tiny steps and acknowledging that every step is an accomplishment. Whatever changes you feel like you've made, no matter how small it is, whatever growth you think you've made, even if it is a tiny bite-sized change or growth, it is still growth. So if it is that you, for instance, were able to take a shower today, and you have been in such a slump or a very moody time, and today you managed to take a shower, congratulations. That is your first step of growth and change. If that is your one thing that you accomplished that day, and if your goal was to get through the day, that is solely a good thing for you, because you have matched your issues and your goals to your pace. And so going back to the mood board, it helps sometimes looking at something or pictures and stuff that you aspire to be, or aspire to look like, or aspire to have, and you kind of envision yourself every single time. What I do is that after work, every time actually before I start work, because I have it on display on my laptop, and every day before I start work, I actually look at my laptop and I pray for a good day ahead. And I'm always cognizant of the fact that this is the woman that I want to become. So then in my prayer, I also include gratitude and receiving of all these good things and good opportunities. Already, I feel like I've already accomplished it, and I am already the woman I aspire to be. Same applies to when I do close my laptop and when I'm about to shut it down and go to sleep. I do the same thing, that as I sleep, I absolutely pray that I'm protected, and that I am at least grateful for all the things that I was doing that day to help me become a better version of myself, to be this woman that I want to be. Now, I want to tell you a testimony, right? I've told you so many testimonies on this podcast, but I have one other testimony. Usually it always is about jobs or apartments or, materialistic things. Every morning, I think I was at my sister's place, but at the time when I was living with her, every morning I prayed. I went to this one spot, and there was such a beautiful view. I love forestry. I love just looking at the trees and, that kind of a view. And I breathed in and asked God for an abundance mindset, and to also be able to financially be free in every aspect, and to be able to freely assist anyone, really, friends, family, and be able to be comfortable with myself financially, specifically financially. I kept on doing that every single day. And on top of that, I kept on saying things like, I love you, to myself. I had to accept that this is who I am, and I'm not going to change, what I look like. And unfortunately, you're just going to have to deal with it. And so I had to accept the fact that this is who I am. And in order to become that version of myself, my future self would not appreciate me not loving myself. My future self would not appreciate me not taking care of myself or making myself a priority. My future self would never have financial issues. My future self would never not be graceful. My future self is always forgiving. All of these things are things that I align myself with as to what I believe. So I'm going to give you affirmations that you can say to yourself. So for instance, for alternatives for someone who says, I did nothing today, you can say, I took care of myself today. Or, I chose to say no, and that's okay. I took time to myself and I rested. You can also say, I respected myself. You can also say, I recuperated. And you can also say, I recharged my battery. I think these are perfectly good for someone who feels like they are in a slump all the time or are in that space, because, we're human and we go through these things. Sometimes it takes us 5 years to get back to who we were. Sometimes it takes 2 days. Sometimes it takes 3 weeks or 4 years or a month, or so whatever time it is that you need, take it, but you need to acknowledge that it is okay. It's okay. So instead of feeling like instead of focusing on the negative things that are happening in your life, or focusing on the things that you don't have and projecting that on other people and feeling like other people owe you stuff or owe you apologies or owe you whatever it is that you think people owe you, how about we kind of swirl that and kind of look at yourself and say, actually, I am deserving of good treatment. I am deserving of financial strength. I am deserving of love. I am deserving of power. I am deserving of abundance. I'm deserving of happiness. Those things, trust and believe. Do not take it lightly. I think everyone knows the song now, but you need not to take these small words lightly. Every single thing that you speak to yourself, you need to speak life and nothing less. And lastly, in practical ways to shift your mindset, surround yourself with the right energy. It's very important to surround yourself with people who uplift you and environments that reinforce your goals. If you feel or find yourself in a situation where, for instance, gossiping doesn't align with who you are, it doesn't align with your future woman or future manlyhood, then respectfully leave the premises. If you're surrounding yourself or find yourself in a place where there is no wisdom shared and there aren't any experiences that people are sharing to uplift one another, remove yourself from that. Also, if you feel like you are constantly surrounded by people that are don't realize the God in you, oh my God, that one. If people cannot and fail to see the God in you, they don't deserve your presence at all. And I'm going to leave it at that. I want to be able to assist you in terms of identifying limiting beliefs. I want to help you through a short exercise where I'm going to help you how to identify beliefs that may be holding you back. I'll start by me. So give you an example for me, for instance. So if I believe that I cannot be able, or that I need to work hard for my money, and that money doesn't come easily to me, that is me believing that I lack consistent money or consistent cash flow. That is one of the things that could be holding you back. Beliefs such as I cannot be loved like other girls, and that I cannot, or that I'm not that deserving of flowers, or that I've never received flowers before, or gifts. That's you limiting your beliefs, and as a result, every other guy that you have dated unfortunately has never bought you flowers, and it will continue to being like that if you limit yourself to that. If you box yourself saying that I'm this type of a person and it is not going to change, if you're not open to the universe, unfortunately things will not find you. So instead of you focusing on the fact that you don't have money, or that you don't receive flowers and you don't receive gifts, rewrite your narrative. You need to replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. So I'm going to give you a short story. There was a time when I had lost a job, and it was more like a retrenchment, and the person I was working for, it was a UK company, and they were going through something financially, so they had to let go and kind of like close the departments and whatnot, and it went south. As a person who has a scarcity mindset, I would be stressed out of my mind. Where am I going to get my next paycheck? When am I going to get paid again? Or how am I going to get money to pay for my rent, or whatever the case is? But because I am not that girl anymore, and I have an abundance mindset, I said, money finds me easily. I can afford anything I want. I don't have to worry about where my next job is coming, or where my next paycheck is coming, because the job will find me. I gave myself a month, but God gave me 2 weeks, because He gave me a job offer, not 1, not 2, but 3. And on top of that, for some reason, the company that had retrenched me was begging or pleading for me to go back to them. So not only was I getting 3 job offers, but I was also getting, or being asked, or being wanted to come back with the job that I previously was retrenched from, which is crazy to me, because it almost felt like, oh my God, I feel so wanted, and it's a good feeling, I won't lie. But that's me rewriting my narrative, and thank God, because I believed that I don't have to worry about the things that are going to be happening for my tomorrow, because I know it's going to happen pretty fine for me anyway. My life is already written in the stars, and I just need to live it fearlessly and abundantly. So that was me rewriting my narrative, and as a result, even the job offer that I'd gotten was way more better than the one that I was at previously. So you want to be able to also take power of action. And I think mindset alone isn't enough. You need to take inspired, aligned actions towards your goals. Dreaming about something is not enough, but dreaming about something is the start of something new. So not only should you just be dreaming that I want to become this type of a man, or that I want to be this woman, you need to be able to take steps. So remember when I said that you must be able to have practical ways to visualize the life that you want. Practice gratitude every single day. Surround yourself with the right energy. Visualize and affirm yourself every single day. Change your narrative and identify where you feel like you're lacking, and that you are limiting your beliefs, and take power in the action in which you want to see yourself in. So if you want to be that businesswoman, look and be in places that look the part. And then you actually go and interact with business-minded people. That's you taking action. If you want to be a good swimmer, speak to people that are good swimmers. If you wanna grow a business from scratch, go to webinars, go to workshops, take the action. And the other thing, which is last but not least, is consistency and patience. The key to having an abundance, a mindset or a lifestyle is that you need to have patience and consistently, and you need to be deliberate about it. Because one thing I know about God is that He has His timing, and that His timing is better than anyone's timing. So I hope that I've inspired everyone, and I hope you understand that the only person that is stopping you from your own goals is yourself, and that if you stop being in your head and stop blaming the things that are happening around you and blaming the people and trying to limit yourself and limit your beliefs and don't speak properly to yourself or elegantly or don't speak high to yourself, then unfortunately you're not going to become this woman or this man that you always wish you could be. So as we close this, I want to encourage you that you need to apply these tips in your daily lives. And I hope to see everyone in our next episode. Who knows, maybe we'll be having a guest coming over. But until next time, remember to stay gentle, stay grateful, and let all God's blessings come into fruition in your life. This is Ava, and you've been listening to TBH with Ava. Bye-bye.